Let's go to Paradise, Michigan, Tahquamenon Falls, and Whitefish Point, where we will check out the Lighthouse, the Shipwreck Museum, and how to find Yooperlites, the very special rocks that are only found in the UP that actually glow under black light. We'll also tell you everything that you need to know about Tahquamenon Falls and where to go to play in them specifically. Let's go!
Welcome to VO's Travel. Where to go and what to see. With kids!
Tahquamenon Falls, Paradise, and Whitefish Point are all located on the northeastern point of the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. They're all three really close to each other. Whitefish Point is only a 15-minute drive from Paradise, and Tahquamenon Falls is also about 15 to 20 minutes. As you're coming into Paradise, the first thing you should do is stop at Whitefish Bay Picnic area. You can't miss it as you're driving north into Paradise on M123. There's a bathroom area and a really nice beach and picnic area too. The beach is fairly small and it is pretty rocky, but if you're looking for a place to cool off with not many people around, this is a place to hang out and let your kids play around. Next on your list of things to do, head north 15 minutes to Whitefish Bay Point and go to the Lighthouse and the Shipwreck Museum. It's a beautiful property with multiple buildings, including the museum, the lighthouse, a gift shop, and a Coast Guard building, among others. To get into the museum and the lighthouse, it costs $14 for adults and $10 for children, but there is a $45 max charge for families. Once you're in the museum, there is quite a bit to see, but it is a pretty small area. The gift shop is set up really nice. It's pretty large and has a lot of really nice items. It does have a pressed penny machine if you're into collecting those like our kids are. Definitely check out the gift shop because there's something for everybody there, like usual. The other buildings, like I said, were a Coast Guard building that was off limits, but you can tour the actual lightkeeper's house. It is set up like it was quite a few decades ago, and it does have a couple people there to show you around. You will tour the first floor, head up a flight of stairs, tour the second story, and then go back down. When you head out the back of the lighthouse, you will find the observation deck. You can head down that, and there is an actual free telescope that the kids can mess around and look through. It doesn't require a quarter like most other ones do. There you will find a beach. You can take your swimsuit and beach towel and hang out and chill at the beach for the day if you'd like, if the weather is warm enough, that is. Lake Superior is cold, but you'll get used to it pretty quick. When we were done at Whitefish Point, we headed back to our hotel, the Magnuson Grand, and I highly recommend it. It might have been a little pricier than others, but it was such a beautiful and nice hotel. When you walk in the door, you're greeted with a quaint, warm fireplace that would be amazing during the fall or winter, I'm sure. The back windows shine out over to Lake Superior. I would recommend paying a little extra to get a lake view room, which does have your own balcony, because otherwise you're just staring at the parking lot. The backside of the hotel has its own private beach. You just go down a couple little stairs and there you have it. The hotel also has a really large swimming pool that the kids loved and a hot tub that my husband really loved. Again, the windows shine out over Lake Superior, a beautiful view. For dinner that night, we headed to the Inn, and it was an amazing dinner. It was a quaint, yummy restaurant that smelled of smoke. They smoke their own meat, and you can tell the second you walk in the door. I had their fish tacos, and they were amazing. They are known for their meatloaf that they smoke, and I'm really sad we didn't get to try it. The kids' meals were fairly priced at $7, and like I said, here's the fish tacos. Try them. That evening, I headed to Paradise Food Pantry for a little ice cream treat for the family. It was a cute little grocery store that had a lot of different things, including this little rock grabbing tool that can come in really handy when searching for Yooperlites. So, Yooperlites is next. That night around sunset, we headed back to Whitefish Point and started searching for Yooperlites. But let me tell you, that sunset was beautiful. If you only go back at night for the sunset, go. There were other people there searching for Yooperlites. As it got darker, you could see people walking around with their little black lights. Now, in order to find Yooperlites, you do need a black light. I found some cheap little ones for $7 or $8 on Amazon, and they worked just fine. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to check it out. You just comb the beach with your flashlight, and if you find one, they will light up. They are absolutely breathtaking. This is an example of one that somebody else found, but unfortunately, we did not find our own that evening. The next morning, we headed west out of Paradise on M123 to Tahquamenon Falls. The first one you come to are the lower falls. It's $9 a day, or you can buy a yearly pass for $35. You will park right here, and then you can look just from the parking lot, but it's best to do a 2-mile hike around that big area and then over a bridge to the island. The bridge looks like this. and is a new structure that they just put in a couple years ago. It's really nice. When we got over to the island, we headed right. You can go either way once you get over there. It doesn't really matter, but we chose to go counterclockwise. Most of the hike, which really isn't a hike at all, it's definitely a walk. It's not hard whatsoever. It's all flat terrain, and most of the walk or the hike is on this boardwalk. There is a little bit of area that is gravel, but it's really easy. Let me tell you about a couple areas we found. The yellow X is where the bridge is, and once we got about a third of the way around the island where this red X is, there was a place you could step off and play in the water. It wasn't deep at all. It was just a nice little place to kind of cool off and take your shoes off and splash around. My daughter thought it would be fun to catch a minnow, and my boys ventured out and played in the water for a bit.
Ready?
Yeah.
I can feel it moving in my hands. See? Yeah. Keep it in the cover.
So just to remind you, the yellow X is the bridge, the red X is that first area, but this next spot, the hot pink X, was the place that made our trip. It was about halfway around the island, and it had a little lookout area, but it also had a little path that you could take down and actually play in the waterfalls. Now this water's freezing, but it was so worth it. My kids got used to it immediately, and they had so much fun playing in these waterfalls. My husband even joined them and took some really great photos from inside the waterfalls. So having a waterproof case or a waterproof phone is a really great idea.
Go in, boys! Woo! Come on, come with me! Come on, guys! Don't hit your head on the rocks, okay? Come on, come out!
They had a blast. Only a couple of them brought swimsuits. The others just got in with their clothes, and thank goodness it was warm enough to just dry off on our walk back to the car.
The falls! Are you glad you went in? We did it!
Of course, I stayed nice and dry from the observation area. Somebody has to. So the rest of the walk around the island was on this gravel path, and then back over the bridge and back over to our car. We spent about 2 hours there total. It was a really great time. They did have picnic tables out near the parking lot if you're into picnics. Next, we headed the 10 minutes down the road to the Upper Falls. This was definitely a different experience. They had a really large restaurant, brewery, and a really awesome gift shop as well. It was around noon by the time we got there, so we did go in for lunch, and it was really great food and a really cool atmosphere too. My husband loved the beer, and my kids loved the wings. Some of the entree options were $20 to $30, but you could definitely get away with a $15 burger, and the kids' menus varied between $6 to $10.
Get the wings, they're the best.
Fish and beer.
What kind of fish?
Whitefish.
Sandwich?
I got fish sandwich.
And what kind of beer is good?
The amber ale.
Which one did you not care
The
for?
wheat ale.
Okay, amber ale, not wheat ale.
Get the homemade root beer on tap.
Is it good?
After lunch, we checked out the 2-story gift shop. They had really decent prices and so many things to look at. They had a really fun bear that my kids loved to mess around with at the beginning. Of course, kids. And they also sold Minnetonka Moccasins that my daughter fell in love with. Those will come in real handy when it gets a little chillier outside. They also had this really cozy fireplace area that I can only imagine would be so fun to sit at in the fall or winter. They are open all year round. So this walk to the Upper Falls did have the option to take a motorized wheelchair for those people that are not able to walk. That was a cool little added bonus. Once again, this was more of a walk and not a hike. It was on a gravel little sidewalk. You could walk a quarter of a mile to just see the Upper Falls, but you could also take 94 steps down to the brink of the falls, and we did that. It wasn't as bad as it looks, and definitely worth our time to walk down. All in all, we spent probably another hour and a half here, and that did include gift shop time and time at the restaurant and brewery. If you were short on time and wanted to skip the restaurant and brewery, maybe even the gift shop, you could get away with only spending about a half hour here just to see the falls. That ended our time in the Whitefish Point and Paradise, Michigan area. Next was Munising. Look out for those videos because we actually swam by Pictured Rocks and made it to Miner's Castle. It was amazing. After Pictured Rocks, we did head down to Manistee and do Kitch Itty Kippy. So those videos will be coming out shortly, and make sure you follow along. I'll also do a 3 or 4 day itinerary in the UP. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can check out all of those upcoming videos. Thank you so much for coming along with us, and as always, I hope that you remember to choose joy and take all of the pictures.